Here we have the current stock market update for Sofi Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Before we begin, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts in the comment section below so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we're going to be looking at the 4-hour price chart because there is a bit of a downside movement here that is starting to gain some momentum. As we know, there has been a major sell-off in the broader market itself, and we have seen some very major names come under a tremendous amount of selling pressure in recent sessions. NVIDIA is the big name that can be pointed to here. There have been some new developments with that company. I will be posting a video on that as well if you're curious about what exactly is going on there, because that is really what's guiding the rest of the market lower at the moment. So if we're looking specifically at the SoFi price chart, we can see that we have now broken through some very important support levels. Currently, what we're dealing with here would have been a break through the $7.60 region that has been discussed in prior videos. The reason that I discuss this area is mostly due to the fact that it represented a prior Fibonacci retracement zone that had been watched and had been discussed in these videos, specifically a 78.6% fib retracement. That would now be expected to work as support. In addition to that, we have also broken through the 20-period exponential moving average, but we have started to find some support in advance of the 50-period exponential moving average on the 4-hour price chart. So currently, this is a fairly significant movement lower after posting some strong near-term highs. So the main question that SoFi traders need to be asking themselves is whether or not this price movement, this price decline will continue. So in this video, we will be outlining some important price zones that can be used to identify trend activity and profitable trading strategies here going forward. So with this move below $7.60, this breakthrough support zones, we can see that share prices have now moved inside of the exponential moving average cluster. For the most part, as I explained in the prior video, this does turn my bias to neutral. As we move into formations like this, what we often see is share prices tend to bounce around back and forth between these exponential moving averages. So it can be quite disruptive in that sense because it can be very difficult for a stock to develop a trend in either direction after this type of activity occurs. So we were previously trading to the top side, and as we can see here, the share price itself was finding support at this 20-period exponential moving average. We have several instances here where share prices did manage to bounce off of that area, but now the paradigm is shifted to some extent. There is a major sell-off going on in the broader market, and most of that selling pressure is being devoted toward the technology space. So you can refer to SoFi as a finance company, a lender, things like that. But at the same time, we can't completely divorce this stock from the technology sector. SoFi Technologies, it's even in the name. So we can't just completely divorce this from the sector itself. And when we're seeing broader selling pressure like this, if a rising tide lifts all boats, the reverse is also going to be true in negative circumstances. So, as we can see here, the share prices have managed to find some support in advance of this 50-period EMA. So that will be important going forward, mostly due to the fact that any break below here would cause an immediate test of the 200 and 100 period EMAs on the 4-hour price chart. So this isn't a short-term time frame that we're looking at here. And it will be critical here to see a bounce through here because this is the level that I've essentially been pointing to now in several videos, which is this 715 level, because I do think that if we break below here, the current bias here is roughly sideways consolidative, sort of a neutral type of stance. But if we do see a break below 715, I think that does signal an end to this short-term rallying movement higher. So what we're really looking at here would be the movement from $6.01 to $8.30. And a break below here would suggest that the overall trend movement here is likely to start to be focused on the downside. And that is going to be critical because the main question for this stock, as we sort of pull out here, the main question is whether or not these movements to the top side indicate a false breakout, or whether the movements to the downside constitute a false breakout. There's going to have to be one situation is true here. One of these two scenarios is true, given the fact that we did break through the 615 support zone previously. So either that was a false breakout to the downside, or this movement into 830 is going to have to be considered a false breakout to the top side. If we do break below 715, we do have to sort of look then for a retest into the low sixes. And then that's going to be the critical question that will determine whether or not the movement into 830 was actually the false breakout. So what we're really looking at here is this declining channel, this downward sloping trend channel here that has broken out at the top side on two separate occasions. The main problem with this movement, these movements to the top side, has been this movement into 601. The fact that we were not able to maintain support zones right around $6.15 will be telling for this stock, because we did post lower lows after posting lower highs at $7.95. So in some sense, one of these two movements is going to have to be the culprit here, so to speak. Either these movements to the top side will be considered to be the false breakout, or this movement to the downside is going to have to be considered to be the false breakout. It will have to be one or the other. Currently, my bias is still toward the top side, given the fact that there has been a lot more movement here to the top side rather than to the downside. All we really have here is this one spike into 601. And it was really a break of support of just around 15 cents, 14 cents, 15 cents. So this is really the only movement currently that we have in the downward direction. So I would say that the balance of the evidence currently does support the outlook for the upside, but we will need to watch these critical levels here at 715, because if we continue to see broad sell-offs in the market, broad sell-offs in the technology sector, we would have to expect some selling pressure to be directed at this stock as well. We can't just expect SoFi to be immune from that type of environment. So, there are going to be some near-term questions that will have to be asked for the stock going forward. And the real question here is, which of these movements here is going to be considered the false breakout? Is it the move into 601, or is it the move above $8? So here's the current market outlook for Sofi Technologies Incorporated, stock ticker SOFI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.